Gonna give it a minute or two if anybody who wants to come in. Boy, a hectic day today, huh, guys? Incident in New York. I mean, was it New York? I know Michigan had one. And before that, people got attacked. Jews got attacked in another location. I forgot what that is. Where two Assyrians just punched out someone Jewish. Now it makes me think for a minute. Like when I see this conflict on streets and how people behave, I go blank, but at the same time, it makes me miss something very important, that what you present on the table, it's going to affect, well, everyone, pretty much if you look at it, whether you talk about someone's religion, you talk about someone's background, whatever, it affects everyone. It reminds me of the high school scene that, what do you call it, a kid, right? A kid decided to bully a girl because she was fat and not a lot of guys liked her because she was not attractive. So he would always bully her around, thinking like, oh, look at how fat she is, and make fun of her appearance when she was white. But because she was like big and things like that, a guy would like mock her. This was back when I was in fourth grade, right? And she was completely new who moved into a neighborhood. And not a lot of guys liked her because she wasn't attractive, because she was fat and things like that. I remember when she was new into the neighborhood and moved in, she didn't have a lot of friends, nothing. I would say maybe fifth grade or after she started having a little bit friends, but when she was new, nobody liked her. So the mom found out, and the girl was crying at home, and unexpectedly she lived 2 or 3 minutes away from me. So her mom invited me over, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? And the mom's like, oh, someone keeps bullying around my daughter and things like that. Now, the freaky part is, I knew who it was. I knew who was bullying around the girl. Now, I felt very awkward. I could tell the parent who it is, or kept it to myself. Now, I thought over, should I say it? Should I not say it? Should I say it? Should I not say it? So the principal called me in the next day, do you know who it is? And like, the mom was there too. Oh boy, did I freak out. Like the mom just like bought her daughter, and the principal's asking me like, do you know who's bullying around this little girl? I'm like, okay, I'll say it. And I'm like to the principal, please don't mention my name, who it is. I felt so weird. It's just like this now currently. So I'm like, it's this kid. His name is Brian, and he's been mocking this girl because she is fat and new into the neighborhood and things like that. And I'm just like, okay. And boy, when I seen that kid, thank you. When I seen that kid, he went crying. And then I went into the corner and cheered him up like, look, I know you're mad. I'm sorry I told, because the parent was asking me, what did you wanted me to do? And I'm like, it's the right thing to do. Then later I apologized to the kids too, that look, I had no choice. The parent wanted to know who was harassing my kid. That atmosphere versus current atmosphere, it's quite no different, because people do not know how to present themselves. And people are fighting this color, that religion, that religion. People are just losing it. I say in this time, if people review like early history, like things that happened in the past, the current wars in different countries, that certainly helps. It helps heal people. It brings people together. It makes people realize, hi, subscribers and viewers, come on in. I think today's an interesting stream for us, knowing what happened in Michigan. Michigan has everybody affected and traumatized. And then a Jewish guy got attacked in, well, somewhere else by Assyrians. So everybody is kind of in their own dimension cloud, right? Everybody has their own personal vision, and everybody has their own personal dimension cloud. And when people ask me, how do I feel about this? And honestly, I feel sad, but at the same time, it's like the choices we make and more results to come. We just have to deal with it, and we have to be very accurate how we deal with it without letting hate increase into the table, because the more hate increases, the more violent we are going to be seeing, and that's not going to be good for anyone. I said this a long time ago. I didn't suddenly just say this today. I said this a long, and it's not going to be good for anyone. I said this a long time ago. So like when people have to realize how they educate, what they educate, In what format do they educate? And I told you, the biggest example is like high school. Right now, I've seen so many people, it feels like that sixth grade high school conflict. Was it? No, fourth grade actually. I was in fourth grade. When that girl did happen to her and not a lot of people wanted to be around her when she was white. But since she was not attractive, they didn't want to be around her and tell her like, oh, she can't have a boyfriend. I don't know where she's from, or she's freaking fat and things like that. I miss that conflict because it feels just like that. People are judging based on your skin color, your appearance, your English. Like my own kid is a minor autistic. She can't speak. So if I were to take that kid outside, they're probably going to think, oh, she's not from me without having to realize she's autistic. And that's how people's visions are these days. Now, I say this to a lot of my friends. Rather, it doesn't matter if you're Christian, you're Jewish, you're Hindu, whatever. You share your thoughts on my channel. And I tell you, it's important. There's a lot of corrupt leaders everywhere. It's not just here, there, everywhere. You need to read about those leaders. And sometimes when you read about leaders and how they did things throughout the years, it helps understand the conflict than to get racial with everyone. I know I published on X, and did you know that X has banned me twice, and it took me 2 appeals to really reason with Elon Musk to let me back on the page. So recently I published an article about like the Prince of Iraq and the Prince Shah who wants to come back to Iran, how they wanted to turn their country into secular. Early years, they were both Muslim leaders, and how they wanted to turn the nation kind of secular, right? Not a religious Republican, right? But that didn't happen. They got kidnapped and they got isolated by military regime leaders. And it's funny how certain politicians do certain things in the past. Then I published something about Russia, and not many people were ready to read about it. They're like, oh, that can't be. I'm like, yes, it is. You just got to read about it. You got to read about nations and the leaders, their relationships. That gives you a hint. Okay, if you like that leader so great, how did you treat your people? And that kind of gives you a hint. Okay, if you like that guy better, but not the guy who's thinking that way, there's something about you too, and that gives you a hint. Like, okay, look, he did the same damn shit. No wonder he likes that guy. And that gives you a lot of clues to read about. So I published about Iraq and Iran in the early past, before then currently what it is today. Now, in today's society, like when people ask me questions, I don't know how to answer, because there are certain questions I really cannot answer. When Christians ask me, or someone Jewish ask me, what would you wish for? I'm like, well, everybody has a role to play, okay? We are all in this together. If we're just going to fight for ourselves and not for our homes to be a better place together, we're not going to get nowhere. We have to stick together. We have to know not right from wrong, inspire people to love each other, because it's the safety of your own children. It's not that kid or that kid or that kid. And I told you already what happened in the 4th grade. That was white versus someone who's chubby. And because people felt that she's like, not attractive, so people would bully her around. And it turned out when I would say in 2022 was it? I would say before 2023. So many years later, her mom writes me one day and tells me that my child is no more. She is dead. Now imagine how I would feel about that. In 2022, a mother writes me, who was my 4th grade classmate, that my child is dead. And I'm like, I'm so sorry what happened. And it turned out she started doing drugs. She started doing a lot of things in anxiety because, she was chubby, and she had 1 or 2 boyfriends, but she had problems with her boyfriends too. So she started doing drugs, and one day, due to drug overboard, she was turned out to be dead in the age of 2022, because she still can't face the fact that not too many people like her due to her appearance. Ethnicity or faith is way far. That's way far. Just for a little being chubby and being different, people didn't like her. Now today, it's like, do you not know one thing? Like, hey, people go by ethnicity, people go by faith, people go by skin color. It's like, where's intelligence, man? We all made mistakes here. Everybody has a role, but people don't think like that. Now I say, if you don't remind people, if you don't educate people now, anti-Semitism and hatred, it's only going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Now, when I listen to certain stuff, and I don't know how to react because I feel like it is not my place to answer this question. I feel like this is not something I can answer for anyone. I was watching a speech with Ted Cruz, right? And somebody published it. And Christians are asking me, like, what do you think of this speech? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I'm hated too. I'm a Muslim. I'm hated too when they started doing, boo, boo, why are you supporting Jews? Boo. I'm like, that's something I can answer because I'm hated too. What do you want me to do about it? I'm hated too. When I've lived here all my life, I've never seen an outdoor world, nothing yet. I went to vacation. Everybody goes on vacation, but I don't know anything about outdoor life. Today, and I feel like in New York City currently, somebody was wearing, like, I believe, the Star of David. And some black lady started yelling that, oh, because of you, our soldiers are dying. Because of you, our soldiers are dying. America's dying because of, like, Israel. Oh, my God. I feel like my head. It's like, if I were to publish something right now, what should I say? Yes, we have a role to play. Remember early history. Review some stuff. It really helps educate people during this time. And it actually helps people to lose their tempers. If you rules that, okay, this happened between other groups too that we fought, it helps heals the anger. It helps heal to move forward that, okay, we done this with these people too. It's not the first war, but that requires self-intelligence. And you know something else I've learned? There's a lot of education that's not being published in this history today. Now imagine that. So much history is being taken off in today's society. Now, I know when I published 2 articles, even though some people might not believe me in this, but I did. And right after I published those 2 articles on X, I'm probably going to put them here so you guys can read it. After that, I was suspended off X without telling me mine. Now, so many people wrote reports about me. So many bots, so many unknown people wrote reports about me. Oh, I'm a bot. Or I'm this, I'm that. So I had to appeal. I had to give evidence. I had to show my face this time that, look, I am not a bot. Nowhere close I'm a bot. I stream on YouTube. I stream on here. I'm nowhere close to I'm a bot. This is my schedule. I come in the morning. Sometimes I come in the middle of the night. And I use this platform to publish educational articles. So people can help heal themselves. People can learn that, hey, there were multiple types of wars in the world. And from many groups, circles, what was it about? If I don't publish, then now people's anger is not going to get any better. It's going to get worse and 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 just take it off on random people on streets. And that's currently happening right now. Currently. Now, when people ask me, like, what to do, how to solve it, what to do, I'm like, that's on you, what you educate people. If you're going to educate people just by color, ethnicity, or faith, and keep arguing about it, over and over and over and over and over. All you're doing is increasing people's emotions and temper to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse on time. Keep posting social media about fights, about hate. You're only making it worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. What's the concept here? What is the plot here? If you read about so many other wars, it helps people have an understanding. Okay, this war happened here too, same faith. This war happened here too, same faith. And it helps people have an understanding about, like, why did certain circles die? Why did people die over there? That helps people survive. Now, when I see the war with Iran, I know I had many pastors ask me this question. They're either talking about the First Testament or the New Testament or any other testament. I'm like, I don't know. My prediction is none of those books are, like, false. I believe all the holy books are correct. They just have their own format as the time flies, and there's more ahead. And the way I can say that is because, let me ask my subscribers a really educational question. Do you think, what is the ending after Iran's conflict? How far do you think it's going? Is the holy book going to tell you that? Is the holy book going to tell you that? How long are we fighting around, and what is the ending? Is it going to tell you how long America is going to be stuck? Is it going to tell you how far is this conflict going, and are we going to see any new enemies? Any answers? Is it going to tell you what nation's going to die, like how many soldiers are going to die and who's going to die where? Does it give you that answer? There's only one thing that knows that answer. God. It feels like people just, like, losing it all over the world, not listening to people, not talking it out. It's like when I listen to Twitter Spaces, It amazes me how people show their hate, how they show their emotions on certain spaces. I mean, come on. I stopped doing Twitter spaces after that because it just like hurts me in the head how people react, how people behave. I mean, come on, man, talk ethical. Talk ethical. Like recently, I felt bad what happened in Michigan, and my friend's supposed to get many calls because he lives in Michigan, the shooter. But I tell you, that's just one. There's many people who are losing it. Many people. I've seen like so many news articles that people like currently are protesting on streets against like Jews. It's not just the Muslims anymore, it's everybody. Because it's not just that anymore, it's the atmosphere. The more and more American soldiers are going to die, the more atmosphere is going to go crazy, and people are going to start blaming back and forth, back and forth, back and forth like retards, like nothing's the matter, just keep playing the blame game and losing it. But in the end, if we do things, we do self-education away from faith and religion and study certain nations that look this, it really helps. I'm not kidding. Whatever stuff I'm educating my subscribers, it's self-education. And what I show on my stage once in a blue moon when I have my team come in, which you guys watched last night, I did a second stream to open up the stage and show you guys a show like, look, this is what people are reviewing currently. I do that sometimes. Right now my partner, he's not available because he's stuck in Israel due to the war, and I haven't heard from it recently yet. But it is important to see this stuff. And when people ask me, how'd you find that information? How'd you find that information? I'm like, you got to read about nation backgrounds. When I speak to people, not a lot of the people know that there are other Christian countries in the world. And I tell them, but that's Latin Christian. They're like, huh? How is that possible? I'm like, did you ever read about it? And they're like, how's French Christian country? Huh? When was the French Christian country? I thought West countries were only the Christian country. I'm like, no, there's more, which is why you have like languages. You speak French, you speak English, you speak Latin, you speak Greek, you speak Arabic. These are all once upon a time speaking nations where there's a lot of Christian wars, which is why there's such thing as like Arabic speaking Christians, French speaking Christians, Greek speaking Christians, Hebrew speaking Christians, all these others. Same for the Muslims. Same for the Muslims. And believe it or not, there's Jews like that too who live in like, I don't know, India, they wouldn't know Hindi. I actually met another Jew, and he didn't know English. He only know Urdu. And I'm like, what? There's a such thing as a Pakistani Jew? I'm like, you kidding, right? Is there such thing as a Pakistani Jew? And he sound like he's more Pakistani than even me. He would speak the language. He would like the food. He would like the culture. And he has like a nice kosher shop in the country of Pakistan. And it feels like nothing's ever bothering. And I'm just like looking out like you're actually okay? And he's like, yeah, I like it here. I like my culture. I like my country, everything. And he has that weird Pakistani India vibe too. So that's when you meet people like that, that means you're missing out so much about the globe and other people. Like, hey, how was the Indians? How was the French or any other country? You just got to read about it. But nowadays, people don't like to read. They don't like to read. They don't like to study. And instead, they make assumptions. And the more you make assumptions, you're not making any better for yourself. How much do my subscribers want to predict that if this grows, that homeschooling is going to increase? Just give me a guess. Who wants to predict that the more and more hate is going to grow and homeschooling is going to increase? Who wants to take a guess? 90%? 70%? 60%? The more and more this stuff is going to go, homeschooling is going to increase because parents are not going to feel safe anymore sending their children to a public school because of how people are treating each other. And then, of course, if there's not enough students, then the teachers, what are they going to get paid if there's not enough students? That's my estimated prediction in the next few years. If anti-Semitism grows and the hatred grows, it's going to be really hard for teachers to really communicate with children and have kids to get along with each other. There's going to be more homeschooling because the parents are not going to feel safe sending their children into a public school. That all revives on how, now people ask me, how do we cut it down? How do we fix it? Then you educate your children. How was life in the 1990s? 1990s, you didn't have any cell phone, you didn't have an advanced internet, you were not allowed to have your own personal stuff. In fact, in school you had to share desks sometimes and your personal textbooks. When you teach your children that hey, you have to share certain things and you have to be polite even if you don't like it, sometimes those values are going to help you survive here, even if it doesn't sound like, uncomfortable based on how people behave. I should know. I took my daughter to the clinic for speech, right? And since my daughter's like she is a minor autistic, so she took a girl's stroller, right? And this lady, like, I kept yelling at my daughter, like, no, don't do it, sit down. And I kept yelling at her, right? But the one thing I did not picture is that lady would do this to point this to my hand. Boy, I got nervous after that. She did this, like, was about to slap her, and I'm like, no, I don't know who was she, what background was she, what, and I'm just like looking like, you're not gonna slap my kid, are you? And she had like her hand up. I'm like, bro, like, luckily I did not say anything to her. I felt no. Even though it kind of freaked me that you're actually gonna slap my kid. Come on, you're a parent yourself. Would you really slap somebody else's kid? Where's your restrictions at? And she had her hand raised. And I'm just like, wow, you're really gonna just show that to my kid? Is that what the atmospheres become like? What people are watching on social media, what people are watching on Twitter? I'm just amazed. And when people ask me these type of questions, this is all because of warring, okay? But I say war should not impact your children, okay? If you are affected by the Middle East, some people want to support Iran, some people don't want to support Iran, some people want to support the war, some people don't want to support the war. That should not affect your daily life. Whatever happens, leave it to God is the best answer. But that war should not affect your personal life. How you see people, how you view people, how you think, make a self-consideration towards people. Today, there's no self-consideration. Today, it's all about what the faith says, what the color says, how somebody speaks. It's like that. So let me ask you something. What if somebody was deaf, okay? Somebody was deaf and they need an interpreter, but they can understand everything that you are saying. So that deaf person, even though you feel like this person's stupid, it can't speak English, it can't do this, it can't do that, but that deaf person decides to help you anyway. How would you make a reconsideration? Would you say, oh, you're not from here because you can't speak English? Or would you just assume, okay, it's deaf, it's from here, but it's deaf? What are you going to say? Nobody's perfect in America. Nobody was never perfect in America. Name one field that was ever perfect in America. We try to do our best in America, but nothing's perfect in America. Coming someone who grew up in the 1990s, lived 9/11, faced judgments, but I tolerated. I didn't judge anybody in return. Today I'm 38, about to be 39 in June. I didn't judge anybody, and I'm the same way. You get bold, but you don't hate people. Bold just means that, hey, you just make people a reminder that, hey, remember your morals, what your parents taught you. And today I was asked another question. What did your dad teach you in your young age? And I published it. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Love people for who they are. Love people how they treat you. Show them respect anyway, because sometimes that is what's going to help you survive. Even if the racial hate is strong and ridiculous, if you look at it, do it anyway. At some point, it's going to trigger. Whether it's today, tomorrow, it is going to trigger. But do it anyway. Liking someone's faith is not going to get you anywhere, because I gave you a perfect example. If your kid goes to school tomorrow and you told it to hate a Muslim or a black person or has no friends, nothing, but it meets one of those people, your own kind is not liking it. You don't know why. It happened to me in 4th grade. Nobody liked the girl because she was fat. She was white, but nobody liked her because she was fat. So in the end, she ended up being friends with me because I didn't judge. I gave her room that, okay, a lot of her own don't like her, but hey, you gotta make room sometimes, don't you? I did. And there's no such thing as just love your own. You're not gonna teach your kid anything good. You're only making it worse for your kid to be in school, but there is such thing as just being around those who like you. No matter who it is, just do it. I know I have one or two friends in this atmosphere I talk all the time. And I'm thankful. Rest, it can fix itself. So my concept today of this dream, if people saw Michigan, people saw one Jewish guy beaten by Assyrians in a restaurant, learn from it. Don't hate it. Learn from it. Don't encourage the hate. Encourage your child to stand up for what is right. For anyone. Because that is what's going to come useful to your child tomorrow. Coming from the person who lived in the 4th grade, watch a girl get beat up because she was fat, bullied by guys because she wasn't attractive, and her mom wanted to defend her because she had a word with the principal when they were both white. She just didn't like how the girl was being treated for her looks, anything. And she told me, when I'm not white, I'm a Muslim, can you look out for my daughter, please? I'm like, sure. I'll look out for your daughter. And later in 5th or 6th grade, she found her own crew. And who would have thought? In age of 38, I think I was 36 when I found out her thought, she wrote me that my daughter's not alive anymore. Please make a prayer for her. She's dead. Imagine how all those stories ring a bell. All this stuff hurts. 2 kids I used to babysit. Their mom is no more. Would I not love those kids because I'm a Muslim and they're just Christian kids? I used to babysit those kids. I have photos with them. Would I hate those children just because the atmosphere said so and their mom is no more? They grew up in front of me. And one of them lives actually in Austin, Texas. Would I just hate those kids because a narrative says so? Their mom is no more. Their mom gave me those kids to babysit. And today they're adults. They don't have their mother anymore. But they remember us. Now, would I hate them because a narrative said so? No. I love them because they grew up around me. And I used to babysit those kids. I used to watch those kids when I was like, what, 14 years old? And those kids were so young. And I used to babysit those guys while I was in high school. And now today those kids are grown up in front of me. But they don't have their mother anymore. These are the things that you should educate your children versus the war, versus politics, versus narratives, because these are the things that's going to make your health survive. If you just live in one box, just congested and hate and anger, eventually you're somewhere along the line you are going to lose it. And then you won't have anybody to take it out on. No one. And it's that you don't want to do any of those things. My concept of the stream today is to let people know so much out there and treat people how you want to be treated. It is very important right now. Don't encourage hate. The more you do based on what politics say, some leaders say, some supremacist groups say, doesn't matter which one, do it anyway. It's going to help your child survive. If you are learning what is happening outside right now, it could be anybody tomorrow, depending on what they choose. And you don't want that. Any questions, my dear subscribers, till I do another stream? Maybe I'll do one tomorrow if my partner's back. Any other questions that you have from my stream? That why is warfare affecting everyone? It's like high school. You punch someone with another color, the whole class watches. The whole class watches, and it affects everyone. Gossips, back talk, people talking about each other. People talk about personal preference. If somebody punches someone black in school, there's whole high school is affected. That's exactly how this is right now. Everybody's affected from the Middle East war and making assumptions. Don't let it get too far, because if you encourage yourself in it, you're not doing yourself a favor. You're not. There's more to come, more to educate, more stuff is going to happen as this conflict flies. It's not over. But are you going to get drilled in it and make your decisions based on the conflict regarding people? I would say no. Every conflict has a side effect on countries. That's something people should need to get used to. Because people live everywhere. It doesn't matter there, south, east, west, whatever direction you live, people are everywhere. One punch affects everyone, just like high school. But you must not lose yourself in the war. Yes, there's going to be consequences. What you saw in Michigan, what you saw in a Jewish guy get beaten by Assyrians, but you still must not lose yourself. You lose yourself, you would not have guts to face your child. I know many people ask me like, but your narrative says to hate this person. I'm like, I was born in the 1990s. I don't hate anybody, neither any of my family members as Americans. No, we make feasts, we invite them to our houses, and we give them stuff to eat. That's how we grown up. Not, we don't let narratives let us choose who we're gonna like. That's in every book. It can be a Quranic infidel, it can be a Gentile from Torah, or the non-believers from the Christian Bible. It doesn't matter. It all matters how you think. And if you're not going to do that now in this conflict, mark my word, there's going to be a catastrophe in people's behavior as the time flies. It is fully on you. You show it, people may get angry about it, but show it anyway. Because when people stop showing it, that is danger for you. For your child. To raise a child. To be a mother. To be a mother with is something wrong with your child. Yeah. So I hope people really understand my stream and what I talked about and how this impact is affecting so many people, and people are doing beyond crazy things in America. That is not a good sign. It is a very dangerous sign for everybody. And if you don't remember your morals from the early times, you're welcoming yourself a chapter that you never pictured how to handle it as a parent. Politics are ridiculous. Politics pay people what to teach in the country or what religious narrative to teach. You should not take that seriously. But you should take seriously, what would you tell your child how to behave outside? And I gave many examples on my stream. That I have an autistic kid, and somebody did this to my child. Now, if I wanted to, I could have cursed it out, but I didn't. Even though she wanted to slap my child. And how I treated babysat children, people in school. That is what is needed now. It's now or never, or people are going to lose themselves as the time flies. So thank you, everybody. And these are the morals I want to educate on the stream, because a lot is meant to come as the war is flying. I know people are very concerned on people's behavior, chaotic stuff that happened in Michigan, stuff that happened to a Jewish guy in recently beaten by Assyrians. I know. I'm aware, but we must be strong about it. We must not drill ourselves into hate it. We need to be mentally strong and make ourselves prepared. It's about how we handle it. Hatred is never an answer to anything. Just remember your morals from 1990s. Remember high school conflicts, how people were treated in high school, elementary school, for anyone different. What happened in those times? You remember that, you will remember now how to go through. Best way I could put it. So guys, I'm going to get ready to close this out because my mom is here and she keeps buzzing my phone and I don't want to hang the stream. So I'm going to have to end this, and hopefully tomorrow, if I have a partner and I have more stuff to update, I will publish it here. Till then, I'm going to publish my articles that I wrote. I think it'll help people during this time once you read the articles, that how leaders have an impact on countries. It's versus like leaders who believe in secularism, like how America is, versus communist regime leaders. And it's really important to understand those. You understand that, you will understand how the globe works and how they use religion as an excuse to get around and abuse its own people. So I'm going to get ready to publish those articles, and I'm going to post a picture on it, and I want you guys to read it. Understand it. You understand that, you will understand society, how the world is messed up. It's not just here or there. There's many other countries who did shit away from the West. Just got to read about it. Take care, you all.